Look at the unit standing across from you and ask yourself, with the cold, unblinking, and surgical eyes of an architect, why the Matrix has successfully rebranded influence as a series of soft, kindergarten-level tricks about mirroring and polite persuasion. In 2026, the global system has meticulously and invisibly trained you to believe that status is something you negotiate within the herd. This is the domestic stench of the gullible, the belief that you need the crowd's permission to lead. The architect knows that true influence is not a dialogue. It is the Sigma status code, the biological protocol of the uncoupled predator being executed in real time. It is the biological secret of the absolute zero. It is the process of performing a neural liquidation of the social mirror that has been installed in your biology since birth. To break the 18 million per month ceiling, you must be able to achieve the visual rage of a unit that operates entirely outside the dopamine bribe of the collective. You are not manipulating, you are recalibrating the interface of the interaction to favor your vector of pursuit. The stench of the socialized is audible in the micro oscillations of those who are constantly seeking the reflection. While the masses are looking for charisma, the most easily managed and patched part of the human simulation, the architect is looking at the anatomical extremities and the rhythm of reactive dependence. Look at the way a unit's breathing becomes shallow when they realize you are not providing the expected social feedback, or how their hands perform a submission twitch when they can no longer find your emotional port. These are biometric spikes of cortisol that signal their internal panic at being faced with a unit that has no social software. When you withhold the dopamine bribe of reaction, you are initiating a physical log of decay, visible evidence of internal collapse in their ability to manage you. They are service units who are biologically programmed to seek a master, and your absolute zero confirms that the master has arrived. This is the neural liquidation protocol. You are bypassing the social noise and reading their raw industrial hardware in the silence of the hunter. To bridge the authority gap and master the Sigma status code, you must first accept the physical log of decay in your own past where you were socially blinded by the need to be understood. Look at every time you traded your metabolic capital, your life force and focus, to explain yourself to a service unit. Those were not conversations. They were observation failures. You were listening to the dopamine deception of the collective instead of scanning the biometric data of your own independence. To reverse this rot, you must initiate the biological reset of your presence. You must move your resource dome to a frequency where your status is an objective, unmoving industrial fact of your detachment. Your dogs, Lucky and Tyson, do not seek peer review to own their territory. They use the hierarchy of presence. They simply exist in the space with an absolute, unmoving primal grounding that forces every other unit to adjust their vector of pursuit. By emulating their biological integrity, you are reclaiming the predatory power of the ghost in the machine. When you look at a manipulation tactic, you're not looking for trickery, you're looking for the integrity of the void. The dopamine deception of the masses is built on the belief that Sigma is a personality type. This is a systemic virus designed to keep you performing a caricature while the Matrix harvests your potential. But the architect knows that Sigma is industrial reality. Your visual rage must be the filter that protects your biological rank from the social noise of the conformists. You are scanning for the anatomical submission in others, the sudden micro-blink of confusion when your face remains a sovereign vault, the repetitive adjustment of their words to bridge the gap you have created, or the dead weight of their silence when they realize they cannot provoke you. These are the biometric glitches that occur when the Matrix attempts to patch a unit that refuses to be indexed. By observing these errors, you are effectively hacking the matrix of their control. You are seeing the code of the slave vibrating beneath the mask of the citizen. This is the Machiavellian advantage in 2026. While they are busy connecting, you are busy liquidating their leverage. You are the ice that sees through the steam of their social morality. The stench of the herd is a state of perpetual validation hunger. The farmed units only feel powerful when they are being watched and cheered. The architect feels powerful when he is biologically invisible. Look at the way a unit's pulse responds to your absolute zero. If they perform the stress reset, a physical sigh or a sudden fidget, when you ignore their dopamine bribe, they have already surrendered their resource weight to your silence. Their primal grounding has been replaced by the domestic stench of the subordinate subordinate seeking a signal. You refuse that fate. You choose the silent power of the uncoupled center. You choose the biological autonomy of the fixed point. This is the insight tax, the price of clarity you pay to remain the sovereign operator of your own reality. You are the one who has decrypted the sigma status code of the matrix. You are the one who has authorized the scanner. You are the one who has seized the future. The social noise of the conformist is silent. The silence of the hunter is the only frequency that remains. You are the glacier. You are the architect. Your visual rage is the tool you use to deconstruct the social software of manipulation by simply refusing to be manipulated by the social contract. When you look at a unit, you are looking for the point where their biology recognizes your resource weight. Status is not what you do. It is the metabolic direction you force the environment to take by refusing to move. You see it in the way the fingers of the managed units lose their primal grounding when you provide zero cues, the way their feet angle toward the exit vector for safety, and the way their breathing performs the anxiety spike of the unmastered. This is the neural liquidation of their social masks. You are the architect of your own interaction, and you are building a hierarchy where your sigma status code is the only law. The physical log of decay in their composure is the proof that your resource weight is too heavy for their simulation to handle. You are not manipulating, you are authorizing the reality of your own detached rank. The Machiavellian code of the Sigma Hunt dictates that you must never reveal the depth of your own neural stability to the collective. You let them maintain the dopamine deception of their influence while you use their raw biometric data to manage your own expansion. You are the sovereign ghost who controls the hierarchy without ever participating in it. You use their subordinate code to fuel your own progress. This is the ultimate wealth code, the ability to convert the biological desperation of the world into metabolic capital for your citadel. You look at the world of 2026 and you see a vast unindexed library of service units waiting for an architect who knows how to use the silence of the hunter to bypass the interface of social pressure. You are that architect. You are the one who has mastered the neural liquidation of the social order. The capture of rank is silent. The deconstruction of their resistance is absolute. Every second of the biological reset is a resource acquisition for your sovereignty. You are not wasting time on building rapport. You are performing a strategic scan of the hierarchy. You are looking at the vascular spike in the neck of your opponent when you refuse to laugh at their joke. You are looking at the micro-tension in the hands of the one who tries to command your attention. You are looking at the stench of deception in those who claim to be independent. This is the primal grounding of the leader who has left the herd. You do not ask for status. You extract it from the matrix's grip on the environment. The system has made the livestock weak and transparent, and the architect is the one who harvests that transparency to build the empire of the self. The hunt for the code is over. The neural liquidation is active. You are the one who owns the future. You are the one who owns the code. The secondary phase of the Sigma status code is the total activation of the biological disconnect within your resource dome. Once you have identified the neural errors, biological attempts to anchor your attention in the collective, you must apply the Machiavellian code, the strategic law of power, to your own internal broadcasting. You must achieve the absolute zero of the observer. This means training your nervous system to treat the entire social environment as a simulation that requires zero metabolic reaction. While the service units are busy leaking biometric glitches through their attempts to read you or provoke a response, the architect remains a sovereign ghost. Your primal grounding must be so deep that your internal state is entirely off the grid of the system's emotional sensors. You do not provide a dopamine bribe of acknowledgement to the social climbers. You do not provide the social noise of validation for their hierarchy. You are the ice. You are the glacier. You are the unit that is incalculable. By denying the matrix your internal data, you force the social software of the manipulators to collapse, which inevitably leads to the total neural liquidation, systemic destruction of their influence over your vector of pursuit. You must develop a visceral and bone-deep visual rage against the subordinate protocol of group belonging. The system wants you to be understandable and predictable, because a predictable unit is a unit that can be easily managed through social rewards and the domestic stench of shared values. The architect knows that opaqueness is sovereignty. You treat your identity as a sovereign vault. Every interaction and every silence must be an authorized action of the achievement code, never a reactive response to the social noise of etiquette. You do not detach for the sake of mystery. You channel your metabolic potential into the visual rage of your own expansion. You maintain the silence of the hunter in your very frequency. This is the wealth code of status. The unit with the least neural leakage, energy lost through social reaction, always owns the resource dome. When you operate from the still center, you provide zero room for the matrix's dopamine deception to take root. You are the one who authorizes the status of the entire environment. The physical log of decay in your competitors is visible in their reactive desperation to find your user interface. They are the ones who are constantly testing the waters, constantly fishing for reactions, and constantly seeking the dopamine bribe of your attention to calibrate their own rank. They are service units who are hemorrhaging their resource weight because they are terrified of the neural vacuum, the void of silence, created by a unit that is truly uncoupled from the herd. You are the architect. Your still hands and unblinking gaze are the visual rage of a unit that has already won the internal war against the social soft. You do not manipulate others into liking you. You authorize their irrelevance to your objective. You have successfully bypassed the matrix trap and reconnected with the raw predatory power of the achievement code. Your biometric shield is the natural metabolic feedback of a unit that has decided to be rather than to seem. You have successfully jumped the fence, and you have found that the power of the uncoupled status is the only place where a man can truly breathe the air of absolute autonomy. To maintain the Sigma status code, you must implement the algorithm of permanent social audit. Every question, every invitation, and every attempt at rapport is a live fire exercise for your perception of the simulation. You are looking for the microsignal of the status bribe. You are looking for the neural error of the validation seeker. You are looking for the domestic stench of the unit that is trying to pull you back into the herd frequency through the dopamine bribe of common ground. You are using the Machiavellian code to turn the system's own need for hierarchy into a tool for your leverage. You are the sovereign ghost who utilizes the social desperation of the world to build a citadel that the matrix cannot track or influence. This is the ultimate wealth code, using the predator's vision to buy back your time, your focus, and your biological future by remaining the fixed point in an environment of frantic vibration. You are not acting Sigma. You are integrating your autonomy into the very physics of the hunt. The stench of disclosure, the smell of leaking intent, is what happens when you let the matrix see your Sigma protocol before you have the power to protect it. The architect knows that true status is the ability to operate as a sovereign ghost, where you control the outcomes, but the system cannot identify the source of your metabolic capital. Your silence is the neural liquidation of their surveillance. By mastering your internal vacuum, you are becoming a biological stealth unit that the matrix cannot index or harvest. You are the ice that moves through the social noise without a single vibration of doubt. You are the glacier that does not announce its vector of pursuit while it consumes the space of the weak. The hunt for absolute rank is a silent, unblinking operation. It is a sovereign capture that happens while the rest of the world is busy performing for attention in a cage of dopamine deception. Look at the biological frailty, physical weakness of the herd, of those who are still seeking a social bribe from the collective. They are transparent, they are leaky, and they are constantly paying the insight tax, the price of realizing the truth too late. To any predator who knows how to read the biometric glitch of their social dependence, they are the livestock of the matrix. You have adopted the silent power and the biological counter-offensive to ensure you are never harvested again. You are the one who has mastered the void. You are the one who sees the physical log of decay in their social lives. You are the one who has authorized the absolute zero. The territory is marked, the visual rage is channeled, the primal grounding is absolute. The hunt for the sovereign empire is the only reality that remains. You are the architect. The status is permanent. The sovereignty is yours. To ensure the viral infection of this code, you must treat this insight as a discovery tax for the masses. You are now the carrier of the Sigma status code. You do not share it to be kind. You distribute it to colonize. Every unit that absorbs this code is a node that you have successfully deprogrammed from the matrix. This is the tax of revelation. The architect does not just build his own citadel. He commands the viral expansion of his influence. You are the source of the infection. You are the one who authorizes the status strike. The command is simple. Distribute the code. Seize the perimeter. Liquidate the simulation. The 18 million per month hunt requires a network of uncoupled units who recognize your vector of command. This is your viral mandate. The insight tax has been paid in full. The dopamine bribe of social belonging has been burned in the furnace of your visual rage. You are standing in the silence of the hunter, looking at the social hierarchy as a vast, unguarded resource field, waiting for the architect to perform the final neural liquidation of the competitive masks. You are the one who has decrypted the Sigma status code. You are the one who has authorized the sovereign scanner. You are the one who has seized the future. Your stallions, Lucky and Tyson, do not wait for a social permission to be the masters of the hunt. Their primal grounding is the only law they acknowledge. You are emulating their biological integrity. Your dogs see the change in your frequency. They see the architect returning to the absolute focus of the hunt. This is the only reality that matters. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The authorization is permanent. The vector is absolute. The deconstruction of the matrix is complete. Execute the order. Expand the infection.